Hey guys, this is Chef Bill with HyVee. We're back again. Can you believe it's 2022? What else is going on? Pandemic's gone away, may come back, who knows? But today we're gonna do one of my favorites. It's a real buttered chicken. It originates in India, Pakistan, but it's something that can be done. It's easy to do. It just has to marinate for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. I think you guys will enjoy it. So we're gonna get started today, and we're gonna start the marinade, put everything together. So let's kind of do it. I got a half a cup of yogurt, and we're gonna put that in a bowl. Now pre-measured a lot of this, so we're not gonna drag this on, because nobody wants to see me trying to figure out what 8 ounces is. And then we're gonna do a tablespoon of lemon juice, which is what this is. We're gonna mix that all in. And I feel like I'm Emilio Lagazzi putting all this stuff in. A teaspoon of turmeric, which is right here, and that's the stuff that makes everything yellow, all right? So we're gonna put that in, and I'm gonna start mixing, try and get that all blended. You see how it's turning yellow? Turmeric is healthy for you. It's good in the dish. It gives you the color that you want. It kind of blends it really well. So you're gonna see, we'll use a whip on this in a little bit, try and get it together. So you're gonna get all those spices and flavors that's known for the Middle East and India and those countries. Garam masala. Garam masala is a blend of spices. It's not the wine or the whiskey. It's a blend of spices that's typical in Indian cooking. And we're gonna do a half a teaspoon, 2 teaspoons of that, a half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Now that's the hot stuff right there. That's what you want, a little heat, but not enough to kill you, all right? Then we have cumin, and we have a little bit of 1 teaspoon of cumin going in there, all the spices you want, ginger grated. I got it in here, grated it already. Did I do a good job? Look at that. Ginger's grated, and then we're gonna do in a cup of tomato puree. Look at that. Now tomato puree, you got tomato sauce, crushed tomatoes. Now tomato puree is like a tomato sauce or crushed tomatoes turned into a puree. Just blend it right down, and that's gonna give you flavors, what you're looking for. Got it? We got that out of the way. Blend that up a little bit and let it go. Look at it. See all those flavors blending, those colors blending in? That's kind of what you want. Then we're gonna put in, and I'm gonna start using the whip on this because I want to be real careful. So we get it in. Now we're gonna be putting in a cup of heavy cream. And heavy cream's got a little bit of the fat. And for those of you who don't know, butter is made out of heavy cream. So whether or not you know it, this is why it's called butter chicken. You got the heavy cream in there. We're also gonna be putting butter in there. I don't want too soupy of a mixture, but I want everything in there, so it's looking good. A tablespoon of sugar, already measured out, and the spices in there. And then we're gonna put in 1¼ teaspoon of salt. That's in there. We're gonna take the whole thing and blend just the way it is. Almost didn't get that out of the way. Now look at that. Seems strange. Now we're gonna take that whole mixture here, and we're actually, I got garlic, I forgot to put in. All right, now I'm gonna take a little butter and melt it, and we're gonna blend that in also, all right? All right, meanwhile, we're gonna start cutting up the chicken and then that right into that mixture there, all right? So I have it here. I'm gonna take off the extra fat. And we're just gonna cut it into bite-sized pieces so we get it done. Now just be careful when you're cutting, grab the meat. I'm holding my fingers on the claw so I can grab the meat. We wanna cut it up so it's bite-sized, put it in there. It's a mixture. Now this mixture here is also gonna be used for our sauce. So we're gonna let this marinate for about an hour and a half, as I said. And then we're gonna take that, use it as part of the sauce. Take the meat out, saute it up. And then we're gonna blend the whole thing. Drain it, saute up the chicken, then add the sauce to it. And then let it reduce until it's nice and thick. And then we're gonna have a gorgeous, gorgeous meal, all right? Here we got about 1.5 pounds of chicken. This is chicken thighs. I know there's a lot of people say, well, I just like chicken breast. Chicken breast has a tendency of getting dry. Thighs is a nice way of just going ahead, keeping tender for you. It doesn't take that long. You can see how long I'm taking here. The hardest part is marinating and letting it sit. And then when we come back, we're gonna go and show you how to cook this whole baby up. Then you'll see what it's all about. Get that mixture in there. And I'm just gonna toss the whole thing, so I got it. And we just wanna let it sit, because that mixture in here is gonna make our sauce, give us our flavor. And I just wanna kinda get everything blended so we have it made. So this is kinda put in there. Let me see if my butter's melted. Almost. And then we're gonna blend that in there so we get some more of that butter flavor. You're gonna say, well, it's gonna be really fattening. Nah, all depends on how much you eat, isn't it? So weight is a set of mind, so don't worry about it. You gotta blend it, but we wanna let that sit so those flavors have a chance to permeate into the meat itself, so you're gonna have a good flavor in there. So, there you go. Now we got the butter. And that's about 2 tablespoons, and we're gonna mix that whole mixture in there, and it blends nicely. Look at that, it just incorporates nicely. So we're gonna go ahead and let this sit and make a happy mess inside the bowl, and we're gonna come back and finish this off. All right, we will see you in just a little bit. Hi guys, this here is the butter chicken. Now that it's marinated about 1.5 hours, we're gonna actually take this and actually pull the chicken out of here. And I got a strainer, and I wanna kinda get the chicken in here. I wanna get the sauce saved and the chicken out of here. So we're gonna put that in, see if I can strain it right. I may have to find a bigger strainer, something with bigger holes in it, but I want to save this liquid because that's going to make our sauce, all right? And that's going to be an important move for us. You say, wait a minute, I've had chicken juice in there. That's all right. You're going to be cooking a whole mixture together. So we want to kind of make sure, you see the juice coming in there, the flavor? So I'm trying to get that juice to go through the holes. And if you got a bigger strainer or colander, it would help, but you can see where the chicken's coming out. I got less sauce. Now, if you had a pasta calendar, that'll go out a lot quicker. But I didn't pull one out, so shame on me. But we're gonna have the chicken here. All right, so you see it is, and it's been marinated beautifully. So we're gonna take that there and that one there. All right, I've got the pan heating on the side of the stove because I want it nice and hot. I'll let that sit real quick right there. Let me flash up, all right? So we're gonna let all this thing fry. I've got no oil in here, so all I'm gonna do is at this point, let that cook, let that sit a little bit. I've got it separated, the flavors are going in, everything's married. All right, the chicken is on its honeymoon. It's sitting there with the sauce. All right, See how it's keeping separated? So we're gonna let that cook and simmer in its own juices here and kind of cook up before we add any more sauce to it. Because I want to make sure all the chicken is fully cooked. That's on full blast right now. So remember I was real soupy? Well, this is all gonna be all saucy. It's gonna be in there. We're gonna let that sit. It's starting to cook. I just want to make sure all these pieces are in there and they're blending. Look at that. It's all separated. All right. So we're going to let that sit. And so I feel safe about it. I'm just going to test one of the pieces of chicken. And that's not done yet. 144. I want to get that just a little bit hotter. All right. All right. All right. All right. Got that piece down there. Get this out of here. We're going to add the extra sauce to this pan and let it all reduce. Now you notice how everything turned darker when it got hot? And that's because of the turmeric and the tomatoes that's in there. It's gonna get darker in color. All right. All right, we want to let that sit, and that's going to simmer with the chicken in it. And it's going to thicken up a little bit more, which is what you want it to do. All right. Now's the time I'm going to taste it a little bit. My goodness, I can taste the lemon juice that's in there, all the flavors. You know, there is a little heat in the back, but that's gorgeous heat. That's really, it makes the back of your throat say, wow, I am alive. Because that's kind of what you want. It's not hot, it's a little heat, but that's the flavor we're developing. So we're just gonna let that sit and dance around in the pot. I don't want to change that flavor whatsoever. Everything's perfect in there, and all I want to do is reduce that just a little bit so there's a chance to thicken up, and we got all the flavors where we want them to be, all right? See how it's bubbling up? It's gonna reduce. As it reduces, and what we mean by reducing, it's gonna boil and a lot of the liquid's gonna evaporate, which is gonna make this thicker, all right? And when we start to use it, you're gonna say, well, there's a lot of liquid, or it's too thin. Well, it's actually, as it cools down a little bit, it's gonna thicken. So I think you're gonna like the results of this. All right, and you can use chicken breast if you want. You can use the thighs. I know people that use small pieces of cut up wings and thighs and breasts with the bone on. They do it this way. I don't like fighting the bones, so I get that done. Those pieces are cooked. Man, they're talking to me right now. I had one of them just said, eat me, eat me. And we're just gonna let that go. I'm not gonna make a mess. We're gonna let that go. I'm gonna lower that down just a little bit so there's a chance to go. All right. Now, I'm gonna check that flavor one more time. I haven't added any more seasoning to it. You can taste that tomato and all those seasonings, the curry, the ground masala, all those flavors are just marrying, and the blend is perfect on that. You get the heat, the sweet, the acid, the bitter, the salty, the pepper. Get all that dancing on your tongue. It's a party in your mouth, and this is a dish, once you make it once, you'll make it all the time. Not that hard to make. The hardest part, really, is waiting for it to marinate. Make it tonight, cook it tomorrow. Nothing else to worry about. So we're gonna get that done. Let that simmer just a couple more minutes, and then we'll be back looking at it. Guys, we're gonna finish up this butter chicken. Now remember the word butter? I just shut that pan off, and what I'm gonna do is put the butter in here, all right? Now, if I told you guys the butter would thicken the sauce, you wouldn't believe me, but I'm not allowing the sauce to thicken anymore, or to boil anymore. I'm gonna let that butter just incorporate it. It makes the flavor smooth, all right? It makes you feel happy, and you're not gonna see the strings of oil floating on top from the butter because it's gonna be incorporated. You're not boiling it, it's gonna incorporate that flavor, and it's kind of what you wanna do. So you wanna kind of get that married in there. And I'm just gonna let that go until all the butter disappears, all right? Now look at that, that's gorgeous. Now what I'm gonna do is we're gonna set up a plate. We made some nice basmati rice, and I want it to look good. All right, now you can shape the whole thing all you want. Look at that. We're gonna put it in there. Now the thing to do is, now the extra sauce, you want that sauce. That's what's gonna kind of give you all that juice in the plate. Then we're gonna take everything, put it to the side. Now I'm gonna get a fork. And guys, I'm gonna tell you, I'm almost in heaven. I'm climbing up those steps. The flavor's gorgeous. Like I said before, a little heat to the back of the throat, but it's not hot. It's waking up every sense I had. And that sauce is gorgeous on the rice. That's enough in that part there for 6 or 8 people. Look at that. I may just sit down and eat the whole plate and get selfish, but this is gorgeous. It's a great meal to have. I think the family, even kids, will love this. So give it a try when you have a chance. It's easy for a one-night deal. Marinate it tonight, cook it tomorrow. Nothing to worry about. Absolutely gorgeous.